Ready to go.
Okay. All right. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to Community and Culture Committee meeting. First of all, I'd just like to remind councillors and everybody present that your image and what you say may be broadcast live to the public. So please be mindful of your actions and your comments. You should avoid making statements that might defame or offend, and note that the recording of this meeting will be retained online and in council archives. Please turn off your mobile phones or switch to silent. Filming and photography are not permitted in this meeting. Anybody observed to be filming the meeting may be asked to leave. I now declare this meeting open at 5:01 p.m. I note that we have received requests from Councillor Daniels and from Councillor McGregor to attend this meeting by audio-visual link in accordance with clause 6.21 of the Code of Meeting Practice. Therefore, I move the following procedural motion: that the committee approves the request by Councillor Daniels and Councillor McGregor to attend the Community and Culture meeting by audio-visual link because they are unable to attend in person due to personal reasons. Do I have a seconder to that motion?
Can I just raise one issue? Change to the Code of Conduct released by the Minister. Does that have any impact on this meeting?
Not yet.
It has to go to council. New codes, revised codes will come to council in a late September.
I thought it was sort of compulsory. Anyway,
Okay, so
can't get say in person.
Got to go on public exhibition.
No, John adopts it. You've been on public.
yes.
It hasn't yet.
This is the new ministerial.
Yeah, I thought.
And my understanding is they're to take effect from the 1st of January.
Oh, person
26.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It takes effect whenever we adopt it. I understand.
Okay.
We will clarify that in June.
Okay. So we'll
It's got to be by the 1st of January. Can't be any later.
we'll just finalise this piece of I guess procedure. So I have a seconder. I think that was Councillor McNamara. I'll now put the motion that our two councillors McGregor and Daniels attend by audio visual link. All those in favour? Yep. Unanimous. Thank you. Okay. So warm welcome to everybody tonight and everybody watching at home. I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we live, work and play, and pay our respects to Darkingham country and elders past and present. We recognise a continued connection to these lands and waterways and extend their acknowledgement to the homelands and stories of those who also call this place home. We recognise our future leaders and the shared responsibility to care for and protect our place and people. Now, I do have some apologies for tonight. Oh, gosh.
Electrical fault. Thank you, Councillor.
It was just slippery.
Yeah. Okay, so
No,
we just have a slight tip over of some water scenario here at the moment, but I think we're okay to go with the other apologies. So apologies have been received from Mayor McKenna and also from Councillor Wade, again, due to
I'll talk to you later.
reasons. Don't need a motion for that, do we? No.
We might also just note that I'll be taking
Yes.
collection.
Yes. We actually do have two of our councillors who are normally alternates, but who will both be in the meeting tonight. One being Councillor Smith and one being Councillor Neal. Could I get a motion from the floor that people are happy with that?
I think we also need to confirm that I'm the voting member too, so there's no confusion.
Yes.
Is there anyone else who's away other than Councillor McQuaid?
Councillor
Oh, you can vote.
McKenna. Yes, the Mayor McKenna. Yes, so you both will be voting members. Yes. So could I have a mover for that? councillor Walsh and a seconder, councillor McNamara. Everybody in favour of councillors? Yep, unanimous. Thank you. Now the disclosures of any interests. Just making sure my list, I've got everybody on there. Yep. So if any, I now ask if committee members to disclose any conflicts of interest they may have in items on tonight's agenda.
In relation to the review of the leisure and aquatic strategy, I would declare that I have a membership of the Commercial Leisure Centre, but I don't believe it's that well. I do not believe it will prevent me from participating in that item. Any conflict that may arise, I will make it.
Okay, thank you, councillor Neil. So councillor Neil has declared that around the aquatic strategy. Now, for myself, I don't have any conflicts. Councillor Daniels?
I'd like to declare a non-pecuniary, non-significant conflict just with regards to the upgrades to Central Coast Football Stadium. Just noting that I was a team member of Alex Bergen, who is the CEO.
Thank you, councillor Daniels. Councillor McNamara?
No conflicts.
Councillor McGregor?
No conflicts.
Thank you. Councillor Walsh?
No conflicts.
Councillor Neil, you've already declared. Councillor Smith?
Not sure if it's conflict, Chair, but I guess I'll declare a non-significant, non-pecuniary just because I'm involved in organisations that have and currently hold grants from council, considering the grants policy. So I might just declare that.
So, all those noted. Yep. Okay. So the other thing I will do is just ask the other Councillor Eaton and Councillor Crowley, because obviously you might want to take part in the conversation tonight, whether you consider that you have any conflicts at all on matters on the agenda.
Just had a quick no.
Councillor Crowley, no. Councillor Eaton?
No conflicts.
Thanks, everybody. Now, we have the minutes of the July meeting, yes, 8th of July. Seeking item 1.3, seeking some confirmation of the minutes.
The confirmation of the minutes being present, though not voting.
Okay, so Councillor Neil and seconded, Councillor McNamara. All those in favour? Okay, carried unanimously for the minutes. Items resolved by exception. So we have see the items on our agenda. I'll go through each item, and if you wish to have that item discussed, then please, say so. So item 1.5, draft grants and sponsorship policies for public exhibition. This was deferred from the last meeting because we had some, I guess, extra questions and things, which I know that Director Smith will be able to fill us in on once we get to that point on the agenda.
They probably need to be stressed.
Because we need to sort of, okay, so it will be discussed. 1.6, Australia Day Award changes for adoption. Again, this was deferred from the last meeting because we had some questions, which staff have come back to us with some further information.
Still there.
Yep. Social media policy. Effectiveness review 1.7. Does anybody want that? You want it? Yep. Now 1.8 is the draft Central Coast Council Leisure and Aquatic Strategy. Yep, staff. Yes. Okay. 1.9 memorials in public places policy for public exhibition. We want this one. Anybody? Councillor McGregor, Daniels on the board there. Oh, okay. Is this a no or a yes, or what are we doing?
I'm anxious to say no because
Yes,
some commentary has been made.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
1.10, which is the community engagement report, and I believe that is Nicole Jenkins giving us a bit of a
Madeline Evans.
Oh, okay, giving us a bit of an update on that, or a bit of a report on that. So I guess that's obviously going to be considered. 1.11, the Rugby League World Cup 2026 request for proposal training venue. Now I got myself a bit confused about this because I knew we've been talking about rugby union previously, but this is actually rugby. I know. This is the rugby.
Don't say that, Tony.
This is separate. This is separate.
Same
It's a
size
different one.
ball.
So that's one. That's 1
At
point.
least you know that.
I'd like to start that.
Yes, you want to start it?
I want
Okay.
to listen to what Brett's got to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not bad.
Brett's excited.
Yes. And then 1.12, which is the memorandum of understanding, ongoing contribution to football facilities upgrades for CEO's signature. Again,
You start, it's a bit confusing because
It is.
there's no financial impact, but then it says ongoing contribution. Does that mean their contribution? Oh, I see. Now I understand.
So do
I
we?
don't need to start
We don't need to star it.
it. Resolve quickly.
Anybody want? Oh, hang on, Councillor McGregor. Do you want to star it?
Yes, please.
Okay. And the last one is 1.13, which is Central Coast Affordable and Alternate Housing Strategy Update. So, Director Smith, were you talking to this on? Not no. No. Okay, so it is just an update. So, do we want this still starred?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to.
Okay. Well, let's see how we go for time. And if we seem like we're running out of time.
Everything got.
Yeah, everything got a tick 'cause it's all important, which it actually is. But anyway, so basically we do not have any items going through by the exception method. We are going to consider each of the items. I just suggest that if we get sort of short of time, we can make a decision about which ones are time sensitive, and see whether I'm saying we're going to do this, but whether we consider them tonight. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So our first item is item 1.5, draft grants and sponsorship policies for public exhibition, which, as I said, was preferred. And I'd like to invite Melanie Smith to speak to the report for us.
Just got the media. So this was a deferred item from the previous council meeting, and there were two pieces of information that were requested to be brought back. One of them was showing the history of the underspends in the grant programs, and the other one was distributing the track changes document, which I've done for circulation so that you could see the changes in those.
And the underspend is quite significant. We're putting too much in the budget
Did that,
to start with.
go to everyone? I'll see. How long goes it?
Page
I
15.
sent it last Thursday. The track changes one went last Thursday
The one about the.
in the report, the body of the
Page 15 there at the bottom.
In terms of are we putting too much in the budget, my response to that would be no. I think that actually says is that the guidelines did need to be changed to clarify who is eligible for the grant program. The former guidelines were a little, and I think what we're trying to do is to clarify those guidelines. The other part of that point too is in terms of the budget, what we're asking for by changing the program to include the sponsorship program gives us the opportunity to reallocate those excess funds to those higher order events, if you like, or organisations that,
There's no increase in the budget
No.
from 900,000, but we've included now the sponsorship portion to be included in the 900,000.
correct. So what we've done is what we're asking for is a reallocation of 50,000 from each of those
Yeah.
grant funded programs into the sponsorship program.
Any other, yep, councillor Smith?
Yeah, so I will apologise because I've had an IT problem the last few days, so I haven't read all the attachments on this. But am I taking it from the report there that it's still just those programs, the Community Development Grant Program, the Community Events and Place Activation and the Community Support Grant Program?
Correct.
And
With
then-
the addition of the sponsorship.
And sorry, Director, so the sponsorship, how is that focused?
Sponsorship will be focused on programs or higher order events that might warrant multi-year funding. So for example, at the moment, one of the organisations that we do sponsor is the Central Coast Sporting Academy, and that's sponsored on a 3-year sort of program. It would be looking at transitioning organisations like that or opening it up to organisations like that. The other thing that we're envisaging under the sponsorship program is things like the multi-year events like the Oyster Festival, for example, rather than them having to put in an application every year, they would come through that sponsorship program. The committee would then determine whether they qualify for sponsorship of 3 or 5.
Okay, so thank you. I'm happy to have a closer look to that as it progresses through exhibition. But Chair, I did want to raise, and I know previously there were heritage grants,
Yes.
and after that, what I thought was a really positive workshop on heritage, I did want to raise the or consideration of councillors and staff reinstating some kind of heritage grant. And there are two things I guess I'm mindful of. People that own properties. I think there used to be grants that they could apply for some assistance in their requirements to maintain heritage.
Try that if you want.
Maybe in a minute. But then the other thing I think that was a really strong discussion